Był kiedyś taki kanał na YouTubie, który znały prawie wszystkie dzieciaki. Dziewczyny, które codziennie wrzucały nowe filmiki, głównie scenki, jakieś wyzwania, przebieranki czy zabawy. Pomysł był bardzo prosty. 7 dziewczyn, 7 dni tygodnia. Codziennie nowy film. Każda dziewczyna miała przypisany konkretny dzień tygodnia, w który wrzucała swój film. Kolory oraz uśmiech na twarzy. Wszystko tak naprawdę wyglądało jak niewinny content dla najmłodszych. Mało kto wiedział, że za tym kanałem na YouTubie kryje się coś znacznie mroczniejszego. Kanał nazywał się SevenSuperGirls. Format działał, przez lata zbudowano gigantyczną widownię. W najlepszym momencie mieli prawie 9 milionów subskrypcji. Pomimo tego, że dużo osób myślało, że to kanał tworzony właśnie przez te dziewczyny, to tak naprawdę za tym wszystkim stał mężczyzna. 55-letni Ian Raylet. To on założył cały ten projekt, a nawet więcej. Stworzył SevenSuperGirls Channels, bo tak nazywała się cała sieć, która obejmowała też inne kanały, takie jak Seven Awesome Kids, Seven Perfect Angels, Seven Cool Twins i tak dalej. Wszystkie te kanały zyskiwały po kilkaset tysięcy subskrypcji oraz wyświetleń. Wszystkie działały w tym samym lub podobnym modelu. Młode dziewczyny, przypisany dzień tygodnia i tak dalej. Po prostu na tamte czasy to wbiło się w trend. Raylet tego nie nagrywał osobiście, ale wszystko kontrolował. Zasady, castingi, treści i choć był w cieniu, miał władzę nad tym, kto występuje i co można pokazywać. Jedną z uczestniczek kanału była Kaylin Wilkins. Po latach ciszy nagrała film, w którym opowiedziała, jak to wyglądało naprawdę. Mówiła o tym, że na planie panowały restrykcyjne zasady. Z góry narzucano, co mają robić, jak mają wyglądać i co mają mówić. Nie mogły zapraszać znajomych czy przyjaciół na plan.
If any of the girls weren't comfortable with something, either showing enough skin was the big one, or wearing a certain outfit or doing a certain thing, he would make them stay at the hotel for the day and not be in any of the videos. A big thing that a lot of people were really shocked to hear, because I made a video about it on TikTok, is that we had assigned best friends. So the assigned best friends that were actively happening whenever I was on the channel. It wasn't the whole time, but it was once we started going on a lot of frequent trips, were me and Jenna, and then me and Ellie. The thing that was really fucked up about these assigned best friendships that we had was that we were genuinely all friends. So it was really stupid that he even did that in the first place, but it was for the sponsors because they wanted distinctive friendships on the channel, which again, I think that was some bullshit lie made by him. He would pair us up in these best friends. I don't know if he did this to me and Ellie, but I remember he told me that, if we didn't appreciate this opportunity, he would take it away and he would break up our best friendship and find whoever didn't piss him off a new best friend, basically. These always piss me off because I felt so guilty. I felt so bad for all the other girls because they didn't get a stupid fucking friendship pairing. I never wanted anyone to feel excluded, but he wanted us to exclude everybody that was not our best friend. So at first it was okay, just in videos, group videos, you guys have to sit next to each other. You guys have to always be sitting next to each other. They would write us lines that were oh, me and my best friend, it would be very blatant, and I'm honestly surprised that more people weren't aware of it, because I feel it was super obvious, and a lot of people said they did notice, because it came out of fucking nowhere. Got to a point that we started to get uncomfortable because he was literally it wasn't even him making us act like best friends, he was making us act like a fucking couple. He was okay, now you sit on her lap, and you guys need to hold hands when you run away, and lean your head on each other's shoulders. And I was what even is this? I'm sure some best friends do that, but it all came out of absolutely nowhere, where he was making us really prove to the audience that we were the best friends. And it got to a point that if you were in a best friend duo, you were not allowed to post with anybody else on social media, meaning us teenage girls were not allowed to post any photo with anybody else on our social media, meaning no friends from real life, not SevenSuperGirls related. We couldn't post anything individual with any of the other girls. It had to either be a group picture or only our quote-unquote best friend, because he did not want us to think that we had any other people that could possibly be our best friend, because there's just no way in hell that someone has more than one friend. our best friend. It got to the point that we weren't, I don't know about the other girls, but me at least, I was like not allowed to post anything on Instagram. He would like ask me to delete stuff all of the time. Anything that he didn't like, anything where I wasn't dressed appropriately for SevenSuperGirls, deleted, super controlled. And this was like my own personal social media. And at this same time, I think around 2016, I knew it was gonna be like my last full year. I knew I was gonna leave around my 17th birthday. Like I knew I couldn't do it anymore. And things were just getting really weird. And so I knew at the end of like the year that it was pretty much gonna be my last year, because what you guys have to understand is like these rules, I'm telling you them in a list, but they like didn't come about all at the same time. It would like be added slowly. So while it is easy to think, wow, why did you not leave when all these were implemented? It was like a slow like crescendo of them getting weirder and weirder and weirder and weirder. And by the time the no shaving legs...
To były tylko dzieci, a założyciel kanału często, jak coś szło nie po jego myśli, groził im, że wylecą z projektu.
For meet and greet, which was so exciting. We were all super nervous, but super excited. I remember one thing that was really weird is he was acting like we were fucking celebrities. Like, he was like making us walk in a single file line behind him throughout the hotel we were staying at, because the hotels that we would stay at would also be where we held our meet and greets. Which is stupid. I don't know why you would do that. But the meet and greets would happen at the convention center of the hotel we were staying at. So like everyone knew we were staying there. So this was like his own fault. But he would make us walk in a single file line and like have our moms like standing all around us. And he was like, you're high profile. You're like high profile celebrities and you cannot be like walking around alone, and you have to be like really careful. And if a fan comes up to you, you have to ignore them. What? Like, we're having a fucking meet and greet. Why would we ignore our fans? The ignoring the fans thing is also like a theme that occurred, because at every meet and greet, I remember, there was this rule that... So the way the meet and greets worked is, it would start off, everyone would be in a room. So like there would be a big like conference room where we would be up at like a long table on a stage. We would answer questions. So there'd be like a list of pre-made questions, and then we would open the questions to the audience where they could ask us whatever we wanted. And then after that went on for like 30 minutes to an hour, I can't even remember, we would go in the other room and people would line up to meet us and take a picture with us. His rule was that we were not allowed to take individual photos with any of the fans. They could only take the group picture, and they could either take it themselves or there was a photographer there. And then you got handed a packet that had like all of our autographs and some little like SevenSuperGirls swag. Like it was like lip balm and like a pen or some shit. He would scream at us if we took a photo with a fan. I remember girls would come up to me and be like, you're my favorite, like I love you so much, I watch you every week, can I please take like a selfie with you? And I'm not gonna say no, because I'm not a bitch, like sorry, but I'm going to say yes. I'm sorry, Ian, but these are my videos that I make. I understand you run the channel, but I'm the one that makes these videos, and these are the people that watch my videos. If I want to take a picture with them, I'm going to take a picture with them. And I understand logistically why he was putting that rule in place, because he didn't want to, if one person gets a picture with one girl, then everybody's going to think it's okay to take a picture with one girl, and then we'll run overtime. I understand that to some extent. I'm also not going to say no. So, like, get over it. I don't know what to say. Like, I'm not going to say no, so get over it. He would get so mad. We would take like a break and he would pull whoever it was that pissed him off back there and go off. He'd pull my mom back there and he was like, you can't be taking pictures. He also had like a thick British accent, so that just made everything a little bit worse. He was like, you can't be taking pictures with people. It holds up the whole line. I've told you this multiple times. Blah, blah, blah. We did not gaff, because my mom, when he started making us turn them down, the girls would start crying. They would get so upset. I felt so bad. My mom would go find them and their mom before they left and hide them. And then once we were done, bring me over and I would hang out with them and take pictures with them. Like once we were finished with all the meet and greet stuff. Melissa had these people's backs, let me tell you. When we would do these meet and greets, we had like a host. This was his cover. Lauren, who I love so dearly. She was on one of the channels at one point and then I think left the channels but was working with him on the show. Like she was like the creative director. So she would help with themes and video ideas, and she would communicate with us sometimes, and she would host the meet and greets, and she came on every trip. She was like our big sister. Like we all loved Lauren. She's such a sweet person, and she would host the meet and greets, and he would have us basically lie and cover and say that Lauren was like the channel director, which everyone took as the channel manager. This is a question I get all the time. They're like, I thought it was that girl that blah, 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 blah. I thought it was I thought it was Lauren that managed the channels. He, I think, wanted us to say that because he didn't want people to know that it was him. And that is sketchy looking back on it, because why? If he had nothing to hide, why wasn't he okay with being known? At some point, this still makes me so angry, he like completely cut Lauren out for, from what I recall, zero reason, which is super in character for him. Got super controlling. He didn't want her to be on any of the trips. He didn't want her to be hosting anything. He had someone else host it. I don't remember if she did something that pissed him off, which wouldn't have even been her fault, because he would turn on you so quick. You would be his favorite, and then he would absolutely hate your guts like a day later if you did one wrong thing. He wouldn't let us even like go in rooms with her and talk with her. Like I told you, we would all, you know, sit in a hotel room and hang out afterwards. He stopped allowing us to do that with Lauren. Why? I have no fucking clue. It was so ridiculous. Made me so sad. Once the channel had gotten really big, he like really leaned into the ranking girls. He would actively pit us against each other. He would tell us all the time, all of you are replaceable. He said, I don't care about any of you. The viewers won't care if you're gone. You are all replaceable. If you don't get enough views or you don't comply with the rules, you're gone. He just constantly told us how replaceable we all were. Sometimes girls from other channels would fly out just to like come to the meet and greet and experience it. Or he would fly them out sometimes. And I remember there was a time that a bunch of girls from, I think, Seven Perfect Angels and like a couple other channels were there, came up to all of us, all the SevenSuperGirls, because we were standing in a line waiting on like the meet and greet to start. And he like pointed to some of the other girls and he was like, just remember, like that could be your replacement. Like she's just as like pretty as you, just as good as you, like she can take your place any second. So like act right. Like what the fuck? So weird. If my views one week were a little bit less than they were, or someone else on the channel got higher views on me, he would rub it in my face. He would email me or my mom or message us on Skype and be like, so-and-so's catching up to you, you better like pick up the slack, you better do better. The thing was, I never cared about being number one. I never cared. It never mattered to me. When I say number one, let me also say this, I don't feel like I was number one. I was the profile picture and I got a lot of views on my videos. This constituted him to calling me the number one girl on the channel. Along with the ranking system that he would email us with and torture us with, he also ranked the channel. So when you would go on the SevenSuperGirls page, logically you would think you would go on there and all of the videos would be in order of the day of the week. So the first girl would have been Emily, then Jazzy, then me, then Jenna. It used to be. And then he made it into a tier ranking of our viewers, basically, or our popularity. It's actually so stupid. And then I hated it. Like I hated that I was the one getting a lot of views because this is something that no one ever knew. But he would literally make me out as some like evil backstabbing bitch. My mom had become, I'm not going to name names here just because I don't feel like it's necessary. My mom had become really good friends with another girl's mom on the channels, and eventually she got onto SevenSuperGirls and she came on a trip with us. This is like way down the line, but I'm just going to mention it now because I'll probably forget. He was sitting with that mom, and we only know this because she told us, because she knew it was absolute bullshit. He told her that, you know, you need to like watch it. You need to like watch it with some of the girls and their moms on the channel because they don't want anything but money and popularity. Like you need to like be careful who you befriend because they will do anything to stab you in the back to keep their number one spots. And she like asked if it was us that he was talking about.
Stawało się coraz dziwniej. Dziewczyna opowiada o tym, że panował tam zakaz noszenia koloru czerwonego, aż po znacznie bardziej dziwne, jak zakaz noszenia butów i skarpet, a nawet zakaz golenia i przycinania włosów na ciele lub twarzy bez zgody. Mówiła także o tym, że kazano jej wyglądać lepiej, pomimo tego, że dalej była dzieckiem. Bandażowała klatkę piersiową, żeby nie wyglądać za dojrzale przed kamerą. Nie czuła się jak uczestniczka zabawy, raczej jak ktoś, kto musi spełniać oczekiwania dorosłych.
As things started to progress, in came the rules. These rules built up. It was like a domino effect. It would start off, we would have a new rule implemented. At one point, it was just, you know, like I said, summer clothes. which was so dumb because it was also summer clothes even in the winter, and some of the girls lived in places it snowed. I think the first rule that I remember was no makeup. It started off as minimal makeup. You were only allowed to wear very natural makeup. And then at some point it turned into no makeup at all. And then it turned into, if you are caught wearing makeup, you will be punished. He would threaten us so much. So much. I'm assuming all the other girls had the same experience. He would threaten me so much. So much. I was told that if I wore makeup, it would be over. He said, I will never provide you with an opportunity again. I will make sure none of the sponsors ever work with you again. You will lose your spot on the channel. If it was all of these open-ended threats of losing everything I had worked so hard for. On one of the trips when he had first started to implement this no makeup rule, he had left it very open-ended. This is something that he would do. And this is why when I used to make story times about him, I would call him the riddle man. Well, people in the comments came up with that. And I kind of stuck with it because it's a perfect name for Ian. He would almost speak in code. He would say shit to you and you would think you knew what he meant, but then he would turn on you and gaslight you into thinking that you were doing something wrong even though he told you it was okay. If you did something wrong, you couldn't make up for it, and he would tell you, the train has left the station. You missed your train. This was it for you. So dumb. And he said all kinds of weird cryptic shit like that all of the time. So the clothes we wore at the meet and greets were sponsored clothing. It was for the brand. I'm not really sure why we had to wear them at the meet and greet, but he claims the sponsors wanted that. Again, have no idea if that's true. He would tell us that he prefers no makeup. Okay, that leaves it open-ended. So he prefers it, but you don't have to do it. That's what prefers mean. It's a preference. He would rather you not wear it, but if you do, it's fine, right? He would leave the choice to us. But I remember a couple girls showed up with makeup on. Nothing crazy. A little bit of concealer, covering a pimple or under eye bags, and maybe a little mascara. He would pull them aside and be like, are you wearing makeup? And they'd be like, just a little bit. And he would tell them that if they don't go wipe it off their face right now, they were not allowed to be in any of the pictures or any of the content. He would completely exclude them and kick them out of the video. Those are your most insecure years too, where you're wanting to wear makeup. A lot of people have acne or things going on and all the other girls are wearing makeup, so why shouldn't you be allowed to? And it was fine because it was just in the videos. But then, I would think about, wow, 8 million people are going to see this, and I have eye bags. So it wasn't the best for self-confidence. So we had to have a full, cohesive, natural hair color, brown or blonde. Well, kids won't have colored hair. 12-year-olds aren't going to have colored hair. And he made me go to the hair salon and dye the highlights out of my hair. Then the hair thing took another extreme. No cutting hair. You were not allowed to cut your hair at all. You had to consult him for a trim. Literally, you had to ask his permission to get half an inch of dead hair cut off of your hair.
Ten facet je po prostu zmanipulował. Nie chciały mu się sprzeciwiać, bo się bały po prostu, że wylecą.
Hired some scriptwriter to write these skits for us. There was one that was SevenSuperGirls saves the world, and I don't know, some park prank that got played on me. I don't even remember. We were filming at a public park. Every night on these trips, we would have to have a group meeting. It would be where we discussed what we're doing tomorrow, and he basically would tell us everything we did wrong that day. And it would be in his room, which was really sketch and strange, but I think one of our moms came with us. I don't really remember. Maybe my mom. This Anaheim trip is probably the first time that something weird happened. Something that we couldn't really prove. On this trip, he rented out a yacht. We had a swimsuit sponsorship with Roxy. It's a surfwear company. I actually wore their clothes in real life, so I was pretty excited about this one. Or I had in the past. I had never been on a boat. This was crazy. I remember we went on this yacht. We were all so excited. We were still vlogging at this point because this was before he told us that we weren't allowed to post any of the vlog anywhere. We were on this yacht in these swimsuits, and I'm gonna be honest, the thing that bothers me most is knowing that this was on the internet. And you have to also think about the fact that we were kids, we were teenagers, so we weren't thinking, there was a point that I thought it, but at this time I was oh my god, we're going on a yacht, we get to wear cute swimsuits, whatever, we're teenagers. We're not thinking of the implications of wearing these pretty small, triangle bikinis on the internet for probably 2-3 million people to watch. I don't even remember what the premise of the video was. I don't think it was a skit. I think it was just like fun footage, you know, of us like playing on the yacht. I remember at this point all the parents were coming to all the shoots that we would do. All the moms were there when we were shooting at the park. All the moms were there. I remember he kept yelling at them because they kept getting in the background of shots and it was like really pissing him off. We would go to the house, all the moms would come. They'd have to like go hide in a room though because again, he'd get pissed if they were in the shots. This yacht obviously had limited space. We were all going on it. He had to go on it. So he didn't want all the moms to come. My mom agreed to come because she was worried about it. She came on this boat with us and my poor mother was so seasick, like incredibly seasick. She was like having to lay at the top with like those pressure point things and like motion sick. I don't even remember, but she was like dying. But meanwhile, we were all filming and yada yada yada. This was the first moment. This was the first red flag. This was the first time I ever genuinely felt uncomfortable by him. I remember Jenna and I were inside of the little interior house part of the yacht. When you would go inside, there was like couches and all these windows that like looked out at the boat deck. We were just sitting in there. We were not being filmed or anything at that point. I don't remember what we were doing, but we were like walking around and talking and just like hanging out. All of a sudden, Jenna's like, oh my God, what just happened? And I don't remember exactly what she said, but she like whispered it to me and I was like, what? She like told me to look over and he was walking by the windows with his camera filming out these windows. The way it was built, like the windows sat low, so if you looked in them you were seeing like our torso and our butt basically. Like I don't know how to explain it, but the way the windows sat, it like our heads weren't in it, like you wouldn't have been able to see our full body. It was like probably like, I don't know, here down. She like points over at the window, she's like, he's filming our butts.
W 2018 roku mężczyzna w obecności 15-latki zostaje aresztowany na Florydzie. Dziewczyna, która brała udział w jednym z kanałów, oskarża go o molestowanie. Według zeznań miał ją dotykać oraz kazać się rozebrać. Tłumaczył się tym, że chciał z nią poćwiczyć użycie elastycznego bandaża w celu optycznego zmniejszenia biustu dziewczyny. Ponoć matka ofiary podpisała z nim umowę, która na takie coś zezwalała. W umowie był zapisek, że niektóre działania, sesje czy projekty mogą wymagać stanu częściowego rozebrania, więc mógł poczuć się bezkarny. No ogólnie straszny creep, nie przyznał się do winy, jednak poszedł na ugodę, gdzie dostał kuratora, 3 miesiące więzienia oraz zakaz kontaktu z dziećmi. Po tej sprawie YouTube zaczyna działać. Najpierw odebrano monetyzację na wszystkich kanałach, potem kanały zniknęły. W marcu 2019 roku SevenSuperGirls i inne kanały SevenSuperGirls zostały usunięte z platformy. Zostały tylko archiwalne kopie wrzucone przez innych użytkowników, ale dla tych, którzy tam występowali, temat wcale nie został zakończony. Dziś te nastolatki, które tam występowały, są dorosłymi kobietami, jednak ta trauma, która w nich siedzi, zostanie pewnie jeszcze przez długi czas. To na tyle w dzisiejszym odcinku. Jeśli chcecie więcej takich lub podobnych materiałów, to zachęcam do subskrypcji kanału. Trzymajcie się. Cześć.